Hello, my name is Victoria Orlica, and I'm the MSYP for Modern Wisho and the trustee of the Scottish Youth Parliament for Communications. Thank you for inviting us to be here today to talk to you about the Scottish Youth Parliament and our national campaign on environmental protection, Pack It Up, Pack It In. MSYP was established on the 30th of June 1999, making us one day older than the Scottish Parliament, a fact we'd like to remind them regularly. Elections are held every 2 years, in which all young people from across Scotland stand to become the members of the Scottish Youth Parliament, MSYPs. The Scottish Youth Parliament is a wide group of young people all across Scotland, which are democratically elected voices of young people. SIP is made out of 160 or so MSYPs, which include every Scottish constituency and 11 national voluntary organisations, each of them having at least 2 MSYPs elected. We have a unique democratic mandate to represent the views of young people aged 12 to 25 across Scotland, from a variety of backgrounds and communities. Alongside that, SIP has an elected board, including chair, vice chair, and 5 trustees. However, including them, we also have 10 conveners and deputy conveners, and groups like Creative Communications Team. We are a fundamentally rights-based charity, and our mission, vision, and values are grounded in the United Nations Convention of the Rights of the Child, UNCRC. In particular, our purpose embodies Article 12, that young people have the right to express their views freely and have their opinions listened to in all matters affecting them. SIP exists to provide a national platform for young people to discuss the issues that are important to them and campaign to effect the changes that they wish to see. We deliver our national campaign every year, and previous campaign successes have included Vote Act 16, Love Equality, which are a campaign for equal marriage, All Aboard, which was all about public transport, and Right Here, Right Now, which is successfully called on the Scottish Government to incorporate the UNCRC into Scots law. Of course, as well as this, our outgoing campaign on environmental protection, Pack It Up, Pack It In. Each constituency has at least 2 MSYPs elected, which means all of you here have MSYPs elected in your area to represent your area in Scotland. From Shetland to Dundee, Ayrshire, even Lanarkshire, there's always going to be an MSYP who wants to have their voice listened, as well as their young people's voice heard. SIP also has space for up to 20 national volunteer organisation members. We currently only have 11, but we would love the opportunity to explore with Humanist Society Scotland how we can support to ensure young humanists' voices are heard within our structures. The new SIP board is really keen to expand our membership, and we are looking at flexible and innovative ways to do this. So if you would like to work with us on this, please get in touch. It's so important that young people are part of the discussions on changes the decision makers make every single day, from housing, transport to climate change. We are the generation who are growing up in this society, and we aim for it to be the best one to grow up in.
Hi everyone, my name is Liam Farley. I am currently the member of the Scottish Youth Parliament for Kilmarnock and Irvine Valley. I'm also the Vice Chair of the Scottish Youth Parliament. So you've heard about SYP from Victoria. Now I'm going to move on to a massive issue that I'm sure you all know young people are endlessly passionate about: the climate crisis. We know young people are passionate about our climate crisis because we see them flock in their thousands to Scotland's streets to demand action, and we see them talk complete and utter sense about the emergency we are facing. We're realising that it is us that's going to take the hit for not taking action now. All we want is to grow up in a clean, green and vibrant country, and we want to keep it that way, for us and the next generations. We also know young people are passionate about this because after MSYPs consulted with over 10,000 young people, it was chosen that environmental protection would be the focus for the 2019-20 national campaign. I was honoured to lead that campaign since June last year until its conclusion only last month. So what did we decide to focus on? Well, we all know how big of an umbrella term climate change is. We decided to focus on the reduction of pollution, as these are words our young people are familiar with. Our campaign aim is to empower young people to speak out and take action to reduce pollution levels in Scotland. What's the key word there? Empower. If we empower our young people and they know that we can make this country and our world cleaner, greener and better to be in, that is when change will occur. So we split our campaign into 3 separate phases, if you like. Our first phase was the research phase, getting the views of as many young people in Scotland as we physically could, aiming to achieve a diverse range of responses. And we did. We managed to reach thousands of young people from Shetland to Stranraer. Through mobilising our amazing team of MSYPs, experts and consultation, we consulted over 2,000 young people, a massive indication of the priority young people see this issue to be. I stood in engagement sessions and heard them speak so impassionately about this subject. After our research phase, we had our advocacy phase. This was about lobbying, screaming and shouting about what our young people want for their country to do to reduce the pollution. Some would say the fun bit, others may disagree. I and so many others spoke to decision makers from local councils, MSPs, MPs, and I took this to the Scottish Cabinet. After that, we had our grassroots phase, or in other terms, our local actions phase, a way for MSYPs and young people, not discounting those that were young at heart, of course, to get involved with the campaign. Every month from October 2019 to October 2020, we ran a campaign action day. A day where young people can get empowered, get in, know that the butterfly effect is there, know that the little change they make one day will have a massive effect elsewhere. These range from getting young folk to climb a hill, writing poetry on Burns Day, participating in an online Q&A with experts, and even some craftivism thrown in there. Our campaign was, of course, hit by the COVID-19 pandemic like everything was. We had to adapt, we had to move online, but we had to keep the momentum going. We kept with our monthly action days, we kept updates, we kept discussing it. Whilst we continued to advocate our cause using online approaches, we are now also going to be backing calls for a green recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. So watch this space to see what that campaign entails.
Of course, as Liam explained, our campaign Pack It Up, Pack It In has been affected by the pandemic. However, that has given us a vehicle to advocate for our green recovery. Although Pack It Up, Pack It In officially ended at our October sitting, we will continue for calling for the changes young people have told us they would like to see in relation of Scotland's pollution levels for our green recovery. This year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we decided to make some changes to SIP's next national campaign, and we would like to be focusing on campaign exclusively on responding to the pandemic and its aftermath. The pandemic has had a huge impact on how things are run. Environment has been no exception. It's fair to say that the start of lockdown, things have improved when it comes to littering, as people weren't leaving their houses. Unfortunately, that didn't last long, and of course, the impact became greater, with people littering with their masks and throwing around their fast food bags out of their car windows. At the start of lockdown, the Scottish Youth Parliament partnered up with Young Scot and YouthLink to create the Lockdown Lowdown survey, which was aimed at young people from across Scotland to hear their concerns about COVID-19. The survey results give a clear picture of what young people are currently worried about. The survey received 2,421 completed responses from young people across Scotland. Respondents were given a list of issues that may be worrying them during this time and were asked to rate their levels of concern. Although I don't have to talk about the findings in detail, the key issues young people are worried about are the implications of their education, their own and other people's mental and physical health, their employment and financial circumstances, relationships with their families and friends, and their future. The pandemic has impacted on every aspect of young people's lives. Of course, some time has gone by since the first time we did the survey, and things have changed. Therefore, we are currently running a second Lockdown Lowdown survey to see how young people feel at the moment with the pandemic still there and restrictions getting changed all the time. You can find out more about Lockdown Lowdown and our work on this on our website. As well as this, over the past year, we as MSYPs have been working on our newest manifesto, which will be the basis of our national policy for the next 5 years. We will also be creating a report that will be taken to the Scottish Government and decision makers to show what young people need and want to have change. So this year is going to be a very busy year for SIP. I would like to encourage you all to follow us on Twitter at official SIP and visit our website www.sip.org.uk to find out more about our work.